It's just gonna taste a little funky.
Yeah, it's gonna taste a little
funk.
funky. That's right, Anthony. That's the first thing the stream hears.
Heck yeah, it was gonna be about me whipping my teeth.
Eh,
Bruh.
Hello, stream.
Yes, hello. I'm eating a BLT. While I'm eating a BLT, everybody say hello.
hello.
Go vegan.
Hello, stream.
Got him.
Until he dies.
Damn it.
Actually,
Gonna
Alex
be
I'm
does.
screaming.
Instant death.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised Tilia hasn't managed
Today
to kill
we mourn
herself
the
yet.
tragic death.
I am surprised all of these characters are still alive.
Honestly, same.
I mean, we almost got violently mutinied.
True. A couple of times,
We all
actually.
jumped overboard.
Yeah, so Tilia's gone overboard twice now, and only once on purpose.
Yeah. While I finish my sandwich, because I thought I'd have more time before the timer ran out. Recap last session, you guys.
Anybody?
Alex.
Oh, well, I wasn't really involved with much of the start. So I think either Z or Vapor should go over their conniving first.
Oh yeah, this is true. I feel like this is a multi-parter.
What didn't it start with?
It started with Kazar.
Yeah. I opened the wrong book.
All right, Kazar, what did you do at the start?
Met my fucking dad.
Same, though.
Yeah, what a plot reveal, guys.
I don't like him. I get a new dad.
Same.
I see you there.
Kazar?
Yeah, what?
We called on you like 5 minutes
We're-
ago.
we're- So we're all doing the recap, Ice, but we're going in order by like what happened with our characters. So last session started with you, so you get to go first.
Oh, the last two sessions kind of are blend together into one in my head. So where did last session actually start? I didn't just become captain last session. That was the session before, right?
Yeah.
You were talking to Andon,
You were talking to Andon.
who told you a
Okay.
lot of juicy stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I had my discussion with Andon in the zone of truth, and learned why Andon was there and some stuff about Z and Vapor. And then we kind of had a group discussion after that. Or no, the group discussion came after Z decided to almost commit suicide.
Yes. So Z, you almost did a suicide.
I did. Yeah, so Vapor and I did some conniving. We'll leave it at
Yeah.
that. And then we passed by Kazar, who was pulling Jeremiah into what's his face's room? Jurgen's room. And then I was like, let's sneak. And Vapor said, I'm gonna let you do that. So I tried to climb down the boat to sneak, Jimmy style. And then I got heard, and then once I was like, oh, well, they definitely heard me, I decided, well, let's just jump overboard. So I did that. I'll let you guys cover the next part.
I made some terrible decisions. I, as a player and a character, made some terrible decisions. Where me as a player did not think to, oh hey, have my character scream man overboard. Instead, have the character go and talk to the captain, who straight up was like, yeah, no, you're lying to my face. And then went and yelled at man overboard. By which time, we were decently far away from Z at that point.
Tilia jumped to the rescue.
I got
Right,
attacked by
attempted to.
some weird snake people with an anchor.
Yeah, they were like wielding the anchor, right?
Yeah, one
Yeah.
of them was a really big one.
Yeah, they like looped me
What?
in with it, caught me around the shoulder.
Like, I don't know how he managed just to swim with that thing, but it's kind of scary.
That's what she said.
Thank you. Your
Yeah.
turn, Anthony.
Yes. So in the meantime, Jurgen is watching through the little porthole, and he sees Z fall in the water, and he thinks, everyone else can kind of take care of this. I should stay in my room so no one tries to kill me. But as soon as Z has an anchor launched out of the water and dragging her underwater, he decides, you know what? Nah, we're gonna get out there. So Jurgen attempts to have a conversation with the man in his head, which is pretty unsuccessful. And so he takes matters into his own hands and is able to calm the storm that is happening. That way, the waters are a little calmer while Tilia tries to rescue Z. He also gets a dinghy to go down into the water to try and get them safe passage back up, where he finds little Jimmy hiding, and little Jimmy spills the beans on what Z did to him in the prior episode, which really ticks Jurgen off, as Jurgen kind of sees little Jimmy sort of as like a grandchild. And so Jurgen and Z are not in the best place right now, but he's attempting to give her a second chance, even though she just
Doesn't like
admitted
kids.
to trying to kill
Doesn't like kids.
him. And Jurgen loves kids.
I would like to point out that before Jurgen found the dinghy to go rescue Tilia and Z, Dragona very bravely attempted to throw a rope down to us.
Oh, yes.
That did happen, yes.
Extremely brave. Superb.
And then ensued a very tense conversation where we decided what to do with Jurgen. And the decision was to not make a decision. That was basically the decision.
Yeah, the decision was to postpone the decision. And
Let's not make a decision right now. That's what we're deciding.
Tilia might
And-
not be captain, but no one's killing Jurgen. She'll make sure of that.
And Vapor
As
threw
would
her
Dragona.
hat in the ring for the position of first mate.
I think it basically just boiled down to everyone leveling together and saying there's good points all around for doing both things, but we don't have enough evidence to support doing the permanent one. So why don't we just wait a little bit until we have a reason to do the permanent decision, and then choose the permanent decision?
I'm not killing Jurgen. Yeah.
Yeah. That was
and-
basically the general consensus. It's like, we're not going to kill him yet because we don't have an actual reason to beyond fear.
And one of the big things that Jurgen kind of threw out there was that there's a good bit of history saying that the Herald of Storms typically ends up going mad, which is why people have been sent to kill him. And he cordially invited Z to kill him the moment he starts going mad.
And
Listen, I'm starting to wonder if maybe the Heralds are going mad because people keep trying to fucking kill them.
Yeah, it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I don't know, metagame, you got a big voice in your head, dude.
Dealing with them fine.
Well, that's not
Yeah.
metagame. We're all aware of that. He told us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
He was very honest about that.
True.
But Kazar also did point out that in combining stories and legends from other cultures, including the Dwarven one, that for every story of one of them going insane and being evil, there's equally a story of them being the good guys. And as stories go, there's no way to know, which stories are which of the stories are true or not, because they're all just stories. None of us actually lived them.
And so we made our non-decision.
Yeah, and so we made our non-decision.
And
Guys,
that's
I vote we do this every week. That was like the best recap we've ever done.
yeah. See, exactly, guys. See what happens when you actually pay attention to each other and just listen. And I didn't have to correct anybody on name pronunciation.
Well, to be fair, we also only basically said the names of each other, and that's shown up in Discord.
True. True.
Now, there was a couple NPCs in there. And, you know, that's where we're going to pick up, is the immediate aftermath of the non-decision.
I
You
think
know-
the one thing that did come of the non-decision is that we were preparing to have another meeting with the crew to talk things out, but presenting a united front this time, rather than being divided like we were the first time.
Go squad.
Go squad.
Go
Maybe
squad.
this time we'll figure out what the old game is.
Yeah. Maybe you'll figure that out. Instead of us I guess not wasting, but spending an hour and a half with
Called improv, Robert.
I hate improv. I do not hate improv. Improv is very funny sometimes. I just was not prepared at all.
That's why it's called improv.
I know, okay? It both can be true.
I'm every DM's worst nightmare.
For real, on God, 100. Yeah, anyways, what's the game plan for this meeting? Like, I mean, United Front, but, like, how exactly are you presenting it? Like, give me the nitty-gritty here.
I think rather than just like having a massive like meeting of every single member of the crew on the deck or whatever, what we do is we grab the usual group plus basically those who are kind of the voices of the crew this entire time. So basically they include Andon, and they'd include the other guy,
Baranon.
Baranon, as kind of like the voices of the crew, and then gathering them in the captain's quarters to kind of talk this out together.
You know, sorry, go ahead. Real quick, Baranon has been around for like a while now. I don't remember his introduction. Did that happen in the one I missed, or am I just not remembering?
Yes. Yes, it did.
Okay.
He didn't really become prevalent until the situation occurred.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to see.
He went from an extra to a side character.
Yeah.
A recurring character.
Sam,
Okay.
Sam.
Just a
So, yeah.
moment.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we start with including Andon and Baranon when we have our initial discussion as to state of affairs and what to do next.
Anthony, I hate reading your notes.
Why?
Doctor Doom wearing Tim's.
I'm sorry. I forgot. That's the only one. When we were doing Mutants and Masterminds, I had my intrusive thoughts in there all the time. They were in blue. I remember.
They were in blue.
Yeah, they were color coded and everything.
Let the intrusive thought win. Anyways, to the game.
Yes, to the game. Are you guys wanting to have this meeting like now?
Basically immediately, yeah.
Well, Kazar, I'm all for this meeting, but we do have to make a quicker decision about whether or not we're going after the ship.
That's why I want to have the meeting immediately,
Okay,
rather than wait.
bring him in.
In order, if we are to go after the ship, we'll need Andon and Baranon on board.
I can go fetch one of them if somebody wouldn't mind fetching the other.
She kind of looks around the room for a moment and then says, "Alright, Vapor, fetch Andon," and she kind of looks to Tilia for a moment, realizes that Tilia probably doesn't want to go find Baranon right now.
Jurgen
And then
speaks up
turns
and
to,
says, wait, what were you saying?
I was saying he first turns to Tilia, but then realizes Tilia probably doesn't want to go see Baranon by themselves right now, and then turns to who am I going to turn to? I guess I kind of have to turn to Z and say, Z, you get Baranon, because Drona probably doesn't like Baranon either, and I'm not sending Jurgen walking around the ship by themselves.
Yeah.
So process of elimination.
And so I go. I go fetch Baranon.
And I go fetch Aaron. Andon.
No, I was
Aaron?
about to
Aaron,
say.
Good catch.
Aaron?
Her name's Aaron now.
No, it's Andon.
Andon?
He will kill you.
I don't know where Aaron came from. I'm sorry.
Eren Yeager.
Go fetch Andon.
That's fucking right. Okay. Who to start with first? Z, high or low?
Low?
Okay, Blake, you get high.
Okay.
Blake,
You want like D100?
no,
Alright.
D20.
Hmm.
10 below is Z, 11 higher is, Blake. That's your name.
When you get sent on a fetch quest and you encounter the final boss.
True. Skyrim be like, it's very easy to find Andon Vapor. He, like, despite the very, like, the bit of mysteriousness around him that everybody has kind of come to find, in particular with him, like, nominating you captain, and Hazar revealing that he's, like, at the very least spoken to him. He is genuinely very well liked among the crew. Everybody you kind of flagged down to try to find him, all of them have nothing but nice things to say. And you find him among the wounded from the attack, just a few hours ago, honestly. And he's changing bandages, he's applying salves, he's just generally being a helpful guy.
I still hate him.
Okay, I approach him.
Yeah, he has his back to you, but as you start approaching him, he clears his throat and he says, "You need something, Vapor?"
The captain has requested your presence in his quarters. I am to escort you there.
He looks at the wounded crew member and he says, "Now make sure you keep that clean next time." And he stands up. Lead the way.
I will turn and head back towards the captain's quarters.
Okay. Z. Baranon is a completely different situation.
Okay.
The crew still like and respect him, but it's more so for his, like, just big, boisterous, larger than life personality than it is his, like, genuineness, I'm gonna say. Like, he is loud and very rhetorical whenever he talks. And you find him very easily because, like I said, he's loud. Like you catch him up on the deck, telling a very loud story about his previous exploits, and when some of the crew around him see you come in, they all just kind of like
He hushes.
the crew around him, like they're having a big boisterous conversation. He's just the loudest.
I see. Okay, I walk up and just loudly say, Baranon, the captain requests your presence.
And he looks at you and he like snorts and like spits out a lug.
Ew.
What's he want with me?
Look if I know. Think he's getting together the leaders of, I guess, the ship or something.
He like sort of grumbles. He'll follow you.
Alright. I don't say anything else to him.
Okay. Like you're just gonna be completely silent on the way there.
I mean, if he's talking, I'll like make small chit chat, but I don't say anything of meaning.
Okay. Where'd you learn to use a knife like that?
Grew up in the capital of Fall Hill. Gotta learn how to protect yourself.
Aha, city lass, huh?
Yeah. Originally. Didn't suit me though.
Didn't suit me much either. Us dwarves are made for the sea.
Yeah, because they swim so well. That's not what I said. I can tell. You dwarves have a way out here, which is drowning. I didn't say that.
You hear Jurgen's voice in your head. I heard that.
Mentally, I say which is drowning.
Do I hear a +5 to swim in our patch notes?
Yeah, you next level up, you guys should invest in swim. That's all I'm saying.
I have
Already
invested
taken care
all of my levels in swim, and let me tell you guys, that almost got bad. Anyways, yeah, back to the conversation.
He just the questions he asked are very broad and general. Like he's obviously probing to see like how willing to share you are.
Yeah, I give him just enough that's like, seems like I'm giving him more. Kind of like, oh, I grew up in Fall Hill on the street. Like, not really telling him too much. Didn't like it. Came out here. I want him to think that I'm giving him what he wants without giving him what he wants.
Okay. Yeah, it's not far to the captain's quarters. Like,
Yeah.
it's a couple more questions, and then you guys are there. On the flip side, between Vapor and Andon, did you have any conversation?
Again, yeah, same as them. If he engages in like small talk, I'll engage, but otherwise, not particularly.
Damn it. Yeah, he totally would. He would say so. You're the one that spotted Z whenever she fell overboard, huh?
Yeah. Um, got a little bit panicked, I guess, though. So, didn't immediately yell man overboard, but learning from that mistake.
He just shrugs. Says, you know, one step at a time, one step at a time. You're new to the sea life. You'll figure it out.
He'll make us ever so slight smirk that he can't see at that comment. Um, just because that's kind of like the first compliment, so to speak, that anyone has given her on this journey. So, like, she takes that very meaningful.
Yeah. He stops you about 30 feet from the captain's quarters. Like, you're still in that hallway, but you're not at the door. He says, you know, I think you have a good head on your shoulders. You and that Z. It's a shame you didn't take my nomination. I could have had at least half the crew behind you.
She'll shrug. I don't think being captain was for me. But
Well, be that as it may, you know, you strike me as somebody far from home. That could have been your opportunity.
maybe something else will present itself. Who knows?
He just nods, then you two continue walking. Vapor arrives first, followed by Z and Baranon about a minute later.
Okay.
As soon as Baranon comes in, he sees Jurgen, and he's like, what's he doing out of his room?
Haven't put him back yet after he saved Z's life.
He just rolls his eyes. The crew would have had it. We didn't need him.
Possibly. He says neutrally, neither agreeing nor disagreeing. And then says, so, first thing to talk about will be the change of leadership, obviously. Since you've been representing the crew during this whole change, Baranon, I felt you should be part of that discussion. For the role of first officer, both Andon and Vapor have put their names forward. What is everyone's opinion?
Say that one more time.
Baranon immediately snorts and he's like, Vapor. Girl froze when she was nominated for captain. What makes you think she would make a good first mate?
The fact that in this case, she nominated herself without prompting.
He spits another lug on the ground.
With that confidence behind her nomination, I'm definitely willing to consider it. But I, of course, want your opinions. He kind of gestures to the rest of everyone in the room.
Jurgen kind of like stares at Vapor for a minute before looking back to Kazar, and he says, "Honestly, I think the girl's got something else in her. So far, we haven't truly gotten to see what she can do. So perhaps this is our chance. She'd have my vote."
He stays silent for a moment to see if anybody else will speak up.
Varanon
If nobody
says,
else-
Varanon says, if a member of the crew is in the running for first mate, that's who I'm behind.
Z shrugs.
Andon, you're the competing nomination. What's your opinion?
Hey, Blake, high or low?
Low.
Good call. Andon seems to sit there for a moment and kind of scratch at his chin. I would like to see what Blake can bring, not Blake, Vapor can bring to the table. I'll withdraw.
In that case, there's only one nomination on the table. Congratulations, Vapor.
Thank you. I won't let you down.
He nods at that and then turns to Jurgen for a moment. As for the role of treasurer, I think we can all agree. Quartermaster, not treasurer. Bleh. As for the role of quartermaster, I think we can all agree that you can't hold that role anymore, Jurgen.
I suppose that's fair. I don't think it
As
was the
for-
greatest fit, anyways.
As for who should be the quartermaster, my first instinct says Tilia. What do you think of that, Varanon?
I don't care as long as she's not in a position of command. She's shown she has no spine for it.
Well, I thought that might be the case. But since she is the mind behind the crew's generous salary, her being the quartermaster probably wouldn't be, I imagine the crew wouldn't be against that.
Because they certainly wouldn't.
Then it's settled.
Yeah, he raises a finger and says, I'm not finished.
He gestures respectfully for them to continue.
I think given the recent events, the boys are due for a bonus.
He looks to Jurgen. You were the last one to look at the books. Do we have the money for that?
Oh, let me do a little peeky peek.
Okay, I assume Dragona's also in the room.
Yes.
Yes.
We currently have 998 gold.
Dragona would then put her hands on her belt and go, finally, some common sense around here. Give me my bonus. I think we all deserve it after everything we've been through.
Kazar does some mental math after hearing the numbers, having not really been keeping up with the numbers before since it wasn't his job to, and says, I think that's enough in the stores for a bonus, certainly. Granted. He says, kind of making it, making it official that everyone's getting a bonus.
And an extra barrel of grog every stop.
Dragona will yell out a very loud hoorah after that one.
Until he's gonna elbow her in the ribs.
He pauses to
Keep
think
it a
about
little
that.
professional.
How much does a barrel of grog cost?
That's a good question.
It's called ship morale. Not only do you have to pay them, but you also have to pay them in like, like enrichment, right?
Yeah. They're like captive animals. They need their grog. They need their little sparkly toys.
We did just buy them toys.
Well,
Yeah, hey
I
man,
have to-
sometimes toys aren't enough.
I have to be able to account for it, and I have to be able to set the money aside in the future. If I'm going to agree to set the money aside in the future, so I have to know how much it is.
Well, let's see here. A gallon of ale is 2 silver pieces. But a keg is not a gallon.
It's a bit more.
There's
How many gallons are in a keg?
about 16, 15 and a half. We'll just round up to 16.
Yeah. That's 32 silver. So what is that, 3 gold? Or
Three-
No, because that would be 100 silver. It's 3 gold.
No, 100 silver is not 3 gold. 10.
Is
It's
it
10 per. So
Okay,
10.
I was right the first time.
It would be 3 gold, 2 silver.
We should break that down.
How much is the salary going to be when we get into stop next?
Jurgen has access to the books. He can tell you that. You guys currently
This is a
pay...
character question because like I haven't had a reason to know this yet because I haven't been looking. So I haven't been looking.
We established that you guys pay both wages and shares. So, like, you give the crew 30%, which is now reduced to, well, not reduced, but it's still the same, but a little more generous for each crew member because 6 are dead.
Yeah.
And
So still
Um,
the same percentage, right?
yeah, with a base pay of, so at the very least, they have to make 5 to make it worth it.
So what are we down to? 24 shipmates? I forget how many we started with.
Yeah, you're down 24. You had 30.
6 died.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So 24.
24
Next
times
up,
5
Savage
gold.
Lord.
Jurgen would he would kind of be counting to himself.
And round up
Uh,
any decimals for silver, whatever.
Well, if they have to make at least 5, Jurgen could lean over and say, Captain, how generous are we looking to be? We have plenty enough to double their regular.
I was doing a little bit of the math in my head myself, and if the next time we got into port, we went ahead and gave the crew double their minimum promised as their bonus for this particular voyage, we'd burn into our stockpile 240, which would leave us plenty for an extra keg and repairs to the ship after that fight.
Oh yeah, I
And-
forgot to deduct ship HP. I'm gonna do that now. Thanks for reminding me, Ice.
You're welcome.
thanks.
So,
The ship's at 87%. Well, Jurgen says in character. Can't you see the health bar?
Scale of 0 to 100.
next time we port, every member of the crew will get 10 gold. And then of course if and when we complete our current contract and we make port again, you'll get the normal minimum plus 30% of the income we get from completing the contract.
I think that sounds
Plus the
mighty
additional
good.
grog every time we hit port from now on.
You know, as former captain, I was so used to giving more than I got. So I'm gonna enjoy every single sip and cent that we get.
Baranon spits in his hand and holds it out to you. Kazar.
He kind of raises an eye and he doesn't spit in his own hand, but he will shake his hand without flinching.
Gross. I have
Maybe
a
a
thing
twitch of the eye.
Well, I
Alright.
think I'd be a
That's-
fool if I thought budget was the only thing you wanted to talk to me about.
No, that just takes care of the immediate reordering. The next thing to talk about is that ship that attacked us. I think the first thing I should do is point out again for everyone that that ship had no idea about Jurgen. Whatever their reason for attacking us, it wasn't that. So we're gonna get hit again. For whatever reason that ship was here in the first place, because it wasn't for him. He says, pointing pointedly at Jurgen, that only happened after the fact. None of us had any idea until that fight, which means they certainly didn't. They were after us for some other reason, and they are still a threat. I would strongly recommend we try to make sure they don't make it back to port so they can't come back after us again. Because even if we do get rid of Jurgen, they were after us for something different. That's not going to change them coming back at us again. Making sure they don't reach port, or at least trying to, is just self-preservation. So I think it would be worth diverting our course slightly to try to see if we can intercept them. If we can, well, they definitely got the worst of that trade with us, and we'll be on the offensive this time. If we can't, we've got the supplies to make the detour, and no harm done. We don't get into a fight anyway.
Well, to be fair, chasing after a ship with no promise of catching up to it, even as damaged as it is, that'll put us out in the middle of nowhere. I'd say the
True.
arguably safer bet is to just sail in the opposite direction and wait for the news to travel a bit slower.
True, but that leaves them available to come back after us again. And as I said, getting rid of Jurgen wouldn't change that. They were here for a different reason.
Azar, as you're like, as everybody's talking, like your eyes kind of slide over Baranon again, like, because as people who speak generally do, they're like, you know, they watch their audience engage how their words are being taken. And above Baranon's head, you see a giant wooden stake lit a flame with what looks to be like a crowd around and a podium of sorts. Somebody stands behind it. You don't know if it's Baranon or not because their face is shrouded.
Did this image shift to this image, or has it been this image the whole time?
It's been this image the whole time. This is just in more detail.
Okay.
Because I did mention something above his head last time.
Okay. What is your opinion, Baranon?
Does the men really want rest and relaxation after the day's events? And given their, and he looks very pointedly at Jurgen, distaste for our tag-along here, I think that he stops for a minute, considering, and then he smiles. And he says, I think I could sell to the crew chasing down this ship and have them keep their mouths shut.
Can you repeat that, Robert?
Sure. He says that the crew really want to go back to go to port, not go back necessarily, but they want to go to port. They want some rest and relaxation. You know, people they knew, friends and colleagues have died. And then, like mid conversation, he seems to realize something, and he's saying now that he might be able to sell it to them, but you know, like he was about to ask for something in return.
Kazar waits for him to continue.
Yeah. He says, but I want to say in every decision we make from here on out.
He turns to Vapor. Thoughts?
She'll think for a moment. She'll glance at him. As long as you agree to hear everyone out in each decision, I have no objection to this.
I'll also be including Andon in our discussions moving forward in addition.
I know my opinion's like a piss in the wind to Baranon, but too many. You ever heard the phrase "too many cooks spoil the pot"? We
Why do
need
you
to
think
at least-
why do you think I emphasized everyone?
You know, in the heat of battle, we can't sit down and delegate every little task, or you know,
In the heat of battle,
discuss
it will be
every
my
little
decision
thing.
immediately and my decision alone. This is for when we have the time to discuss things outside of immediate conflict.
That's true, but you'll find as captain that line between a snap judgment and a time to plan is very fine. How you determine when to consult the rest of the crew and when you make your gut decision as captain.
Whenever there's time to do so, and whenever there is not.
Tiffany will give a grand shrug. Not my problem. You got your head on your shoulders, so I'll follow orders, sir.
He nods and turns back to Baranon. Is that agreeable?
Aye, that's agreeable.
Alright. In 1 hour, I'll attempt to divine the location of the ship. In the meantime, turn towards its last known heading and head in that direction. Dismissed.
Aye. Baron on leaves.
He immediately gets started on casting on remembering the battle and the 2 wizards that were in that room. Specifically, he wants to, or the 2 casters that were in that room. You know, the unique looking ones.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
did the
gotcha.
whole teleport thing at the end. He wants to focus on the one that did most of the talking, that was kind of doing that flourish, drawing attention to themselves.
Mhm.
He wants to focus on on an item that was on their person, because they were the most memorable, because they definitely stood out. So he wants to focus on them and recall something that was either kind of, you know, stood out on their person, or something that looked like it might have been their spell casting focus.
Okay.
And he wants to use locate object. The divination spell.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Let's.
He's hoping to be He's hoping that divining the direction of that object will point them in the direction of the ship.
Awesome. Cool.
That's a unique idea. I like it.
At this level, it's the best divination option I have. The only divination option I have that would work here.
Fair enough.
I could point the ship in a direction and say, is this going to be a good outcome? Point it in a different direction and say, is this going to be a good outcome? That's my only other option, because I have the one that does that, where you ask if this course of action will be good or bad. It's that and locate object, that's all I got. And as funny as it would be to turn the ship 5 degrees every few minutes and ask the question again, I don't think we want to do that.
Everyone just starts puking. They're like, I'm not seasick, I'm just dizzy.
Or everyone's be like over here be like, why is the ship only moving 5 degrees?
Okay. Yeah, you get started casting that.
So that's a 3rd level, right? I think.
For clerics, yes, it is a 3rd level. Believe it or not, for sorcerers and wizards, that's a 2nd level spell for them.
Gotta love it.
I have to replace one of my current active ones. I'll replace. Locate object isn't a ritual by chance.
No, it's a standard action.
Yeah. So I do have to take that hour to replace one of my prepared spells.
Yeah.
So I can cast it.
All right. While
I
you're
don't regain any spell slots, but I think I can do it that way, right?
I'll let you like switch out one of your spell slots to cast this spell, but no, you will not replenish any.
Yeah, no, definitely not replenish.
Okay. We'll resolve that here in a second. What is everybody else up to?
What's the rest rule again?
That is a good question. The short answer is a long time.
I think you can benefit from a short rest with 1 full hour of rest, and long rest is 8 full hours.
Yeah, but there's a rule for like how many hit points you regain. Is it just 1 per day? Your level
You gain,
long rest?
with a full night's rest, 8 hours of sleep or more, you recover 1 hit point per character level.
Okay. We don't have
Um,
hit dice.
If you undergo complete bed rest for an entire day and night, you recover twice your character level in hit points.
So you can't spend hit dice to heal while sleeping, right?
Unfortunately, not. However, that is 5th edition thing. However, like, injuries can be tended to that will boost your recovery. Like, if you're under the care of like a doctor, then you gain like another hit point per level during that rest as well. Like,
So it just steadily stacks.
yeah.
And I do nothing.
You're gonna do
I go
nothing
drag
for
my
8 hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go drag my chest back into the first mate quarter because Vapor didn't leave me alone, so my stuff gets to be in there now. And then just pass out on the floor in hopes that it takes us 8 hours to get there. Thanks.
Are we skipping that long, or are we just waiting an hour and then having locate object cast and seeing what happens then?
Yeah, well, that's all that's happening.
Okay.
Vapor is also gonna go do that exact same thing, not with the chest, but just go like pass out and sleep for a while.
Yeah, so we're only skipping forward 1 hour.
I mean, that's up to only 2 people have decided they're sleeping, and you're casting a spell. What about the rest of you?
I think Jurgen would want to spend a little bit of time with Dragona.
Ooh.
Dragona, is there something that you're doing in particular?
Not especially. After all that, she would probably just go sit down as well. She'd probably sit with Tilia, though.
That's okay. He likes Tilia too.
The only two
You're still-
not gunning for your
Yeah.
head.
You're still technically under house arrest. Mamoto was probably waiting outside the door because he's your guard.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Mamato
point.
will just if Jurgen's like, hey, I want to go like get food or something, Mamato will just follow him there. Like,
Yeah.
trust
Well,
me, you're safe with Mamato. Mamato's got your fucking back.
Awesome. Then yeah, Jurgen would let Mamato that he's gonna spend a little bit of time like oot and a boot, if you will.
You know, Mamato's like, cool,
Yeah.
as long as you don't mind that I'm, literally just a step behind you at all times.
I would never care about that, my friend. But yeah, he would go sit down with Dragona and Tilia, and he would say, you know, you two are really like the only ones who haven't doubted me for even a moment. Why is that?
Oh, see, that's where you're wrong. I doubted you the second I learned you were speaking with voices in your head and maybe can call down the wrath of the storm at any given time. That's terrifying and scary. But, even if I'm not your captain, you're still part of my crew. If I can't trust my crew when you've made no conscious decision on your part to betray that trust, why should I revoke it?
Dragona would just nod at Tilia and then shrug her shoulders and say, I have seen your strength in battle. I don't need to know anything else.
Jurgen would just kind of laugh a little bit, and he says, "Well, regardless, I appreciate the things that you all have done for me."
Jürgen, have you ever spent any time with the Orcish clans?
I can't say I have.
Dragona's gonna give him like a wild look and say, "You should keep it that way."
Well, maybe that would be for the best, but it takes a lot to be put into a bad light in the eyes of an orc, or half-orc, or anyone who shares orcish mindsets. You've proven yourself one of the most capable in combat, capable of sinking an entire ship on your own. I think that's a quite useful skill to have, if I'm being honest.
Jurgen would look down at his hands, just kind of considering what you said, and say, I suppose that's true to an extent. It's as much as I hate to show weakness in front of, well, really anybody. It's scary. I don't know what this is. And honestly, I don't blame other people for being afraid of me. But regardless, I appreciate the fact that you guys are even giving me the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I know out of character it hasn't come up much, but Tilia does have a quite a nasty looking scar across her face that leaks blood pretty often. She keeps it covered up a lot, but she'll tear off the bandage and show you the orcish runes that were carved underneath it. You see this, Jurgen? Now, if I ever told you about it, I might have been drunk, so I don't remember. But did I ever tell you the story?
Hey, Dragona. Roll me
No.
a history check, please. You'll see knowledge history.
Oh,
Doesn't bear any importance to you. Just
I'm like, bloody scar. Yeah, looks badass.
I swear it didn't roll on my screen.
Oh, that was just to the. I didn't mark that one as.
yeah, it's not marked as public.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I didn't do it for
They-
all of them on accident. It was a 4.
Yeah, they rolled a 4.
I can't remember if we've already got past this part, but you're. Did you ask if you had told Jurgen the story?
Yes. I had asked if I had told you about it.
Jurgen would say, no, I don't believe you have.
Well, I'm sure I've told you about my times with the tribes, but you only get this if you messed up. And I messed up. And in the eyes of the orcs, I am a Karakorai, which means unable to be honored. And that was an act of my own doing. It was a conscious decision, and this was my consequence. It labels me as, well, more or less an undesirable for their kind. At least your scars are invisible. Only our crew knows of it, and, well, I don't think you're worthy of such a thing. Tilia looks around for a mug to drink out of, and thinks to herself while downing that for a little while.
Jurgen would put a hand on her shoulder and say, "Well, if it's any consolation, I don't believe you should be bearing those scars either."
Well, that's why I tried to become a captain and regain some of that lost honor, but that seems to be not what fate had in store for me. I don't know what it has in store for you, but I think you're destined for greater things than the scar on your face.
Dragona's gonna look at them and like shake her head and say, the orc elders are just so stuck in their ways. I think that honor is moldable on a spectrum. And I think that all that matters is what's in here, and she's gonna like flex her muscles. And then she's gonna say, and what's in there, and she's gonna point to Tilia's heart.
Jurgen is just gonna like look at you and say that was very well said.
Mamato like wipes a tear from his eye.
Dragona's gonna nod and go, thank you. Now, never speak of this to anybody.
Tilio's gonna punch Dragona hard in the shoulder with a smile.
Jurgen says, I can't speak for Mamato, but I can say that this can be our little secret.
It's not like I talked to anybody else.
Dragona's just gonna give Mamato that little like side eye and do that thing where like I'm watching you with like her fingers.
Yeah,
like,
Mamato winks.
Okay, okay.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, look, Mamato's kind of a pretty dude, you know? Okay. I mean, unless you guys want to continue talking, I'm gonna say that's a good, like, quick, moment to switch it up. Sorry, somebody texted me, and what the fuck?
Derailment. Yeah.
It was just, like, the most random shitposty thing I've ever seen, and I will explain after the stream.
Yeah, to wrap it up, Tilia will notice some specks of blood falling off her cheek, down her chin, and onto the table. I gotta get a new wrap for this. I'll be back.
Alright. And
I
Tilia
have a
steps...
question.
Go ahead.
At this point, I don't believe it's been discussed, but it might have been, I don't remember. At this point, do people know that Dragona is Tilia's daughter?
No.
No.
Okay.
It's never come up. That's what the history check was for, was to see if Dragona was like, hey, wait a second, I recognize that name and who killed them. But they didn't get it. So
Who killed her? Wait, does Dragona not even know that Tilia's her mom? What?
no.
No, I
one
don't.
does.
I don't like in theory know who my mom is. Like
What?
I know that she was like banished, but other than that, I have no idea, and I don't care. Like Dragona does not care about her mother at all.
I was entirely unaware.
Yeah.
It's just
and,
like right at the beginning when you're like, hey, yeah, those two are definitely sisters.
Yeah, what? I don't know. I thought it would come up in conversation more often. I talk about my family all the time.
Hey, man, well, you're very open. Yeah.
Yeah, Tilia drunkenly has probably whinged about her times in the orc tribes and the fact that she has a daughter that she has not seen since basically she was a newborn. But Tilia's never gone back. Because, I mean, I assume Jurgen doesn't know Orcish as a language.
I don't believe so. I almost talked out of character in his accent.
Yeah. Well, even if you can't know, or you can't read it, you probably recognize it in that it is like an orcish name on my cheek. And for
Gotcha.
the audience, it might have some subtitles that says Osrim.
No, but I speak Giant, Aquan, and Sylvan, which I forgot about.
It's an interesting collection.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So that's where we're gonna leave that, and we, I guess, pick up with good old Kazar. High or low, sir?
Oh, low.
Hello.
Just by a D2, man.
No.
Heads or tails?
Yeah, if I wanted a D2, I'd just flip a coin.
That's the joke.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're not funny.
Rude.
Fucking got him.
Yeah. My life is over. I just lost life.
Yeah, Z's just starts crying.
I know, I'm really upset. That's funny. Okay.
Yeah, Kazar, when you cast this spell, like, give me your characters, like, how do they cast this spell? I know that there's technically a component, but you can ignore that. Like, give me some personal flavor to this.
So, after preparing the spell, first, what they'll do is they'll kind of. I imagine the desk it's kind of in the center of the captain's quarters, but you can move it around. So they'll probably move the desk off to the corner and draw a circle in the middle of the room with like a white chalk on the ground so that it easily can be cleaned up later. And then he'll kind of sit in kind of like a meditative position in the center of the circle, drawing some, symbols around the inside of the circle, but we're closing it again, so it's kind of like the inside of a magic circle.
Mm-hmm.
And then he will focus on the memory of the battle. He will, rather than immediately focusing on the person, he'll play it out from start to finish, remembering details, senses, and just going through the motions of the battle as if reliving in his own mind, until the moment when the wizard or spellcaster shows up and, starts casting these colorful spells and talking. And he will focus on his memory of, his attention being drawn to them while they're doing this and standing out. And then he will focus on the object in question, their spellcasting focus, or at least what appears to be their spellcasting focus that he can see on the person. Whether that be a jewel they're wearing on a necklace or a ring on their hand. Whatever it looks like happens to be that focus for them. And then he will, focusing on that object, feel out the direction to that object. Almost like following a thread.
Yeah, okay.
Towards the path to that object.
Got
where
you.
It currently is now.
Okay. Yeah, you're sitting there in that kind of, you said you're sitting almost like you're meditating, right? And you've got your eyes closed, the battle scene playing out, and you see it right towards the end. It's not a ring, it's not some small object. The spellcaster in particular, at least the one I believe you're thinking of, actually had a staff and you see it then, and as you focus on it and you're doing your meditation, the scene kind of changes, and you see the ship. You don't see the person on it, but you see the ship, and it still has smoke coming off of it, and like an orange glow of like embers that haven't been fully put out, and your senses tell you north.
Okay. With that, I will stand up and go to the deck and point the crew in the direction of north, towards where I feel where I feel myself being pulled towards. And that will kind of hold from that point for the next what are we level? What level are we?
6.
6? Okay.
Mhm.
So that feeling, that exact like feeling will stay with me for the next 6 minutes, and before the spell fades. So I'll have plenty of time to direct the crew on the correct heading towards where I'm being pulled.
Yep. Okay. Just Kazar lay down to rest.
After that, how long has it been since we lost sight of that ship? It's still the same day, but how many hours has it been?
Um,
I'm just trying to gauge on if Kazar thinks he'll have enough time for an 8-hour rest before we catch up with them.
Only 3. But remember that the crew said that it magically appeared and magically disappeared.
Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 spell slots in total left, stretched out between the different levels I have. 5 in level 1, 1 in level 2, and 3 in level 3. I will use the remainder of those, using my ability to channel the pure magic straight into Cure Wounds abilities to heal the crew with whatever magic I have left before I take my rest. Focusing on Baranon and in the leadership first, and then once they're healed up, then spreading the magic out to anyone else who's still wounded. So,
Nice.
if Baranon or Andin or anyone, Tilia or anyone still injured, start with healing them up to full, and then from there, go to the crew, whoever's the most wounded first, magically healing them first, and then moving on, spreading out the rest of the healing.
Take some of that healing action. I'm like still at half health.
I just wasn't
Okay.
doing pretty poorly. I got strangled by the piano.
What are your domains again?
My domains are. It is, I believe. Where's my class abilities? It is one of them is the trickery domain, and the other one is the travel domain.
Travel. Okay. That's the one I couldn't remember. Dope. Okay. You guys are just gonna rest immediately afterwards. So yeah, everybody's back to full.
Nice.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
And then all the rest of my healing, whatever was left, went straight to the crew. I burned every spell slot I had left before going to sleep. So that would be a couple of cure. I think level 3 is cure serious wounds. Then a bunch of regular cure wounds, and then a single cure moderate wounds.
Oh, it actually changes like the spell name.
Cure moderate wounds comes before cure serious wounds. Cure moderate wounds is a second level cleric spell.
Yeah, so I would have had four cure wounds, one cure moderate because I had one level 2 spell left, and then I had 3 level 3 spells left. So 3 cure serious.
Okay.
Because I used up a lot of my second level spell slots doing performing Zone of Truth 4 times.
You got a lot of spell slots. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
You're being a cleric. I would hope so.
yeah. I would hope so. That's my thing.
Actually, I have a decent amount. I get
Clerics are a little bit better in 3rd edition than they are in 5th.
yeah. I get
Especially because a
15
lot of their
spells
spells,
today.
a lot of the spells in 3rd are duration rather than concentration.
Nice.
So I can stack a couple of them.
Okay. This is where we're going to take our first break. I'm going to give you guys 15 minutes.
Neat.
Sweet.
Why do we both say neat?
Neat.
We think it's neat. Funny.
Neat.
Neat. And this will include myself. There's some donuts downstairs. They haven't eaten them all. I'm gonna get one.
Ooh, nice. So, baby.
Hmm.
I think that's a yes, you. I think I kind of like overestimated or not overestimated, over exaggerated our trip because I was like, oh no, Toby won't be able to go a week without anybody. It's only 3.5 days.
Yeah.
I've been away for 3 days, so I'm sure he could stay the extra half day. He won't be happy when I get back, but it just hit me
You'll have
because
to leave like an entire thing of food for him.
yeah. Oh, I know how much food to leave.
Okay.
No, it's not the feeding and stuff that I worry about. It's just he lonely.
Fair.
Typically after 3 days, that's when he starts having hairballs. I think I've expressed this to many of you, but my cat is like, uh, like he has like chronic separation anxiety. Like I'll go away for a weekend and sometimes he's okay, but like any more than 2 days, I start seeing hairballs everywhere. He's a big lick self-soother. I'm like, poor dude. But yeah, it's just an extra half a day, so I'm sure he'd be okay.
Okay.
I forgot we were coming back like Saturday afternoon, evening ish.
Mm-hmm. Alex, you and Abby still good to do stuff on Thursday?
Hello, everybody.
That is a good question.
Hello,
What y'all talking about?
Wisconsin,
Wisconsin.
Wiscussy.
I had a mansion. Way out in
Wisconsin
Wisconsin.
was right there, Anthony. Wisconsin.
We should be able to. My class starts and I have it until 2:50. What time are you guys busy on Thursday? Like
Yeah,
all
No.
day?
you guys were gonna be like later, weren't you?
Well,
Yeah.
we're coming in on Wednesday, but Thursday's like the rehearsal dinner and everything, and we're not in the party. So
So we have nothing to do while
Oh,
while
right.
they do all of that jazz.
yeah, so we got pretty much the whole day. All the bachelor party stuff is on Wednesday, so we'll probably want to sleep in since one of the things we're doing is the Shabiken, which is basically just a bike tour to a whole bunch of different bars.
Sheboygan.
Yeah, that sounds about Wisconsin. Yeah.
I forget you guys don't live in Wisconsin, and I was like, yeah, you've never heard of that before?
No.
No.
Like, I was like, that's totally normal. And there's like bar walks where you like go to every single bar, like on the street.
That sounds awesome.
I actually did one of those on a street called Regent Street, and it sounds pretty upscale, but by God, it is not. And there's a lot of like really shitty dives down that road, and it's like really it was fun. But I mean, for Appleton, so Abby and I both have class until I think hers ends at like 3, and I think mine ends at like 2, and it takes like an hour to get to Appleton. So we finish our class and like get ready and then drive. We'd be there around 4 or like 4 to 5 is when we're looking to be like available to see you guys.
That's
Alright.
fine.
I need there's a bakery called Happy Bellies, and they are a 100% gluten-free and mostly vegan bakery, and I gotta check their hours to see if they're open.
No, they're
Don't you
definitely
guys
not.
work in a vegan bakery?
Uh, we work at a vegan cafe / restaurant.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
In my
it was
cafe and bakery are like the same.
Like, do you remember what the name
Bunch
of
of
the airport
liberals.
we're landing in is?
What?
Do you happen to know the name of the airport we're landing in?
It's Milwaukee Airport.
It's just called Milwaukee Airport.
Yeah, there's the Milwaukee Airport.
Milwaukee Airport.
Milwaukee D's.
It's not bad. That one wasn't bad, Robert.
That was not
Yeah,
bad.
Milwaukee's kind of a shithole. Like
No,
I mean,
it definitely is.
It's Milwaukee. Like,
it's not half as dangerous as Chicago, and Chicago's not even dangerous, but like it
Yeah,
just kind of
like-
sucks. Like that's kind of what I imagine like all of West Virginia being. Like it just kind of sucks.
oh yeah, West Virginia fucking sucks. Nothing out here.
Especially where we're from.
So you guys are like all from like 50,000 person cities, right?
If,
Less.
Yeah.
The city of Clarksburg, nearest where I live, only has 30,000 people because they include like 4 other cities as Clarksburg.
Yeah, you get
I'm trying to
Clarksburg,
think-
Bridgeport, South Harrison.
Here, wait. Let me find out the population of Uniontown. Hold on. I don't know what the population of Uniontown is. Population of Union.
Yeah, actually, the city of Clarksburg, I doubled it. The population of Clarksburg is 15,784.
Yeah. No, mine's like 10,000.
So, yeah,
Meanwhile, my first roommates were from Philadelphia and L.A.
yeah,
Oh,
cities
Lord.
cities with more people in them than West Virginia combined.
Yeah,
Holy shit! I did not
I-
realize Milwaukee was over 500,000.
I just want to put things into retrospect. My hometown, which is a suburb of the city Atlanta, is 200,000 people.
Yeah, like I was born in West Palm Beach, Florida. And West Palm Beach has, I don't even know how many people. I'll have to look that up. 117,000 current.
Yeah, it's been a pretty big change for us living in Stevens Point now because it's only 25,000 compared to Madison, which was like pushing a third of a million.
But West Palm Beach is part of the Miami municipality, which is 6.14 million people.
Jeez.
Yeah, Florida is just like fucked. I've only been there to get on a cruise to get away from Florida.
Florida sucks.
That and Disney World.
I would never visit Florida. Like, you'd have to pay me.
Like,
Hey,
I
Abby,
swear,
I'll
the
pay
only
for your
people who-
plane ticket if you want to go to Florida with me.
No.
So visiting ICE is out of the question.
Well, if we do want to
Yeah,
go on
basically.
like a big Disney trip, you know what's really funny? The airport here in Clarksburg flies directly to Orlando.
It does for cheap.
Yeah, for literally $60.
Holy shit. That's
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
that's like a day trip worth.
Yeah,
It
like
is. Well, no,
Mm-hmm.
my
crazy.
family was
And
gonna
that's not
take
even
a
that
day
long of a
trip this
flight.
summer.
That can't be more than like 5 hours.
who wants to go to Orlando?
Right now, we're gonna drop the game.
Yep, drop the game. Sorry,
Sorry.
guys, we're leaving.
Sorry, chat.
That would
There
be
is
very
an
expensive trip.
$88 nonstop flight to Orlando from Wausau, which
See,
is
they got-
not that far away.
They got to make the plane tickets cheap because everything else is gonna empty your bank
Yeah.
account.
Yeah, I mean, fuck Florida. Okay, sorry, ICE. Fuck Florida.
This place sucks.
He's like, I don't claim it.
Well, I could live there because, like, every year you're just like, you might have your entire life and family destroyed by nature. Like, fuck that. No.
See,
Yeah,
I
like
that's a
would never
yearly
live
hurricane.
anywhere a hurricane could hit.
We don't actually care about the hurricanes here. They don't do anything to us.
Yeah, you
Hey.
people are fucked. That's insane to me.
Unless they go over Category 3, we don't care. If it's a Category 4, then we start to get a little worried. But
Well,
our
yeah.
infrastructure down here is specific because we get them regularly. Our infrastructure down here is literally built for it. That's why we don't really have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's why you don't like you see very few skyscrapers around in places like Florida, like specifically
unless they're
because of all the
30.
fucking.
It's different when a hurricane hits an area that isn't used to hurricanes. Then you're fucked because the architecture wasn't built for it because it doesn't normally happen, right?
Well, I mean, Katrina hit, like, areas
That was a
largely-
Category 5.
Yeah, that is true. That was a bad one.
That went beyond Category 5. That's different.
The biggest worry.
I guess
That-
that'd be
that
like
one hurt.
Wisconsin getting like 30 inches of snow. Like 30 inches of
Yeah.
snow would destroy most of the U.S. But you're right. Like
Yeah.
we do have infrastructure for it. But like having your shit buried by snow.
Whereas
is
an
one
inch
thing.
of snow shuts down the entire state here.
Yeah.
The entire like we got like a less than a foot of snow once, and the entire state shut down
We got
because we don't have the infrastructure for it.
We regularly
Meanwhile,
get
West
like every
Virginia-
other year we get like 3 to 4 feet of snow. Like
Yeah. Man, I remember the one time, like, we never shut down for snow, but there was one time when we were in middle school that it snowed, like, it just kept snowing. And, like, it snowed for like a week straight. We ended up getting like 4 or 5 feet. And so we couldn't go to school for weeks. It was
yeah,
crazy.
they would just cancel it like every other day. They'd be like, nope, no school. And
Yeah.
like I distinctly remember like being so excited because our county in particular is very infamous for never closing.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the state could literally be like a nuclear radiation zone, and Harrison County schools would be like, you guys are fucking going.
Yeah.
That's what we're like with a hurricane. hurricanes. At least we were for a while. Schools wouldn't close for hurricanes here.
Jesus.
Tropical storm? Nah, you're going to school. The bus is picking you up outside.
We're lucky we got out when we did though, because they don't do snow days anymore. They do e-learning days.
Yeah, they
Oh
do.
my god, I'm so glad I graduated
Yeah.
long before the fucking school from home thing.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised
Yeah.
it took them this long to implement like any kind of e/telelearning, because like doctors and shit have been doing it for literally years at that point.
Well, the reason it took them this long is because it took them this long to get devices to all the students. But now schools give out, like every school gives out laptops or iPads for the year, so they can like make them go to school.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the reason they changed to it. They give the students don't have an excuse anymore because they literally give them computers and say, "You have one. We know you do because we gave you one."
Right, but
You
the
don't
because
have to
but the
bring
school
us
didn't
anymore.
necessarily
Who's
give
the
them
youngest
internet.
among us? Like the youngest among us
They
is
don't.
I think Blake is.
How old are
No,
you,
I think
Blake?
Blake's
But
only.
that was the main reason.
What?
yeah,
How old
but,
are you,
like,
Blake?
I suppose it
24?
oh yeah, God. So like we're all above that. So like
Yep.
yeah, kids these days are born with like iPhones in their hands.
Right.
Like it's
Mhm.
finally time
It-
enough where they can assume that even the poor kids have some sort of computer at home.
Well,
Like it's
Yeah.
just become so
and that's
ubiquitous.
and that's something that act like honestly a little out of touch. And that's like sure the
Yeah.
school provided it, but there's like here in West Virginia, whenever COVID wasn't, I mean it still is going around, but like during the pandemic days, Walgreens insisted that everybody has to schedule themselves online. No signing up, coming to the pharmacy to sign up and schedule it. You have to do it online because everybody has a computer and just everybody has internet, which is just not true. Like these schools, sure they provide an iPad, but iPads don't have built-in roaming data. Unless
Yeah.
unless the newest
Yeah,
iPad
true.
just fucking released that, and there's no way schools are buying the newest ones.
Yeah, what they'll do now is basically like school systems have ways of semi providing it, and there are a lot of like welfare programs that give free Wi-Fi, but it's not like it's better. I'm not saying it's great, but I think they have the thing is, unfortunately, enough people have it and have access to it that they're just like, well, if you don't, get fucked.
And
Well,
those
to be
that don't,
like
they tell
to
you
be
to use
fair, if
they tell
you're
you to use
not well off enough to be able to like pay the like $20 a month for like government subsidized internet, like if you're that broke, then you're already going to have to go like send your kids to the poor school anyway. That's already not going to have the infrastructure. So like
Yeah.
as long as
Right.
you're like even upper low class, like
Well,
you can
that's
afford
that is
well, that's the
that
thing.
is a good thing to point out. Not every school has this new thing where they give everybody laptops and stuff.
What-
I know that the school I graduated from, they still don't.
Yeah, and well, I mean that's also not like 100% accurate either, and it's cut like West Virginia in particular has a massive homeless children issue. Like I think it's literally like 1 in 3 now. 1 in 3 kids in West Virginia are homeless. Like
that is horrifying. It is.
this state is so impoverished, and like literally nobody does anything here because this is a place that instead of wanting progress, they're literally the epitome of like when people stereotype conservative politics where it's like, oh, we only want like tradition or like things to stay the same. That is West Virginia in a nutshell. Like
It's one of those deep red states.
like it is the stereotype for that. Like an IT business wanted to start up here in my town because there's a whole bunch of vacant buildings that they wanted to buy and renovate. And they were literally the townsfolk got together, the city council, and were like, no, because we don't know those people. Don't give them the license.
Yikes.
Like, literally. It's insane. Like,
That it do be.
anyways, back to the game.
I was just about to say, time is up.
short political rant for the chat. Though it's only political if you disagree that kids shouldn't have homes, or should. If you disagree that they should have homes, that's it.
Well, Z might hate children. In this chat, we think that kids should have homes.
Exactly. Down with
He thinks they should all
landlords.
Well, I mean, Jimmy is mostly homeless.
Now listen, in this universe, home is where the heart is, and he likes Dragona and Tilia. So
He gets so many moms.
yeah, he's got all the moms.
And one grandpa.
Yeah.
Dragona's the type to like hate him, but like secretly love him a little bit. Like
Dragona's like, you're a little fucking pipsqueak. Fuck you. I hate you. But then also will literally kill the universe for.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. All right, everybody rests.
Yeah,
Alright.
sleepy time.
Tilia's one
Hooray.
of you already at max health and no need for rests, really.
Yeah, because you were like, I'm not gonna stand here and fight this guy. I'm just gonna jump out the window.
Well, I thought it was a door, but that's beside the point.
You'll remember this moment as the moment you almost killed. Jumps out window.
Fantastic
You
moment.
may have
Fantastic.
given me sleeping poison, but at least I
It's gotta be the worst pirate I've ever seen.
The worst pirate you've ever
But you
seen
have
so
seen me.
far.
Anyways, we
Uh,
rested.
Yeah, you guys have rested.
Yeah, bye,
We're
Dobby.
what?
Yeah, bye, Dobby.
Bye, Dubby. Yes, indeed.
We're rested.
Yeah, you especially, Anthony, need to stop derailing things.
I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, the ship that you all have been, I guess, tailing, searching for, whatever. You come across it, anchored in the ocean, and you don't see a soul on the deck.
I'm gonna cast Mage Armor. Thanks.
Cool. You
Myself.
You cast Mage Armor on yourself. Like a whole bunch of like dark, shadowy, like armor plates just kind of like snap themselves all over Z.
Pretty cool.
Kind of fits the aesthetic.
Oh yeah. I give a nod, like I know how cool I am.
Have we walked? Are we all walking up onto the deck, or is this something? Is this just the?
This is like you guys have found the ship and you have parked next to it. Like,
Right, let's get a board down and get over there.
Yeah, I will cast.
Tilly doesn't need a board; she can jump.
I will cast Magic Vestment on my my armor.
Are
Okay.
you sure it's a good idea to just directly jump over into an enemy ship?
go for it, Tilia. Do it right now. You won't.
Double dog dare ya, Tilia.
Well,
No.
Tilia's going to time her jump at the precise second that the crossing board falls onto the other ship.
Just roll jump.
Yes, sir. That's the only thing I have macroed to the main screen.
You make it.
Shocker.
I'm just gonna walk across the board.
I walk across the boards.
I'm
You're
not
gonna-
jumping.
I also walk across the
Will-
board.
Run across the board.
Jurgen is going to follow the others with the spell casting. Go ahead and cast some True Strike on himself.
Okay.
And then also walk across the board.
Mamako follows you. Yeah. The deck of the ship is a complete mess. There's like, of course, where Jurgen called down lightning, there are big gaping holes that like the embers that Kazar saw when he was locating the staff are gone because too much time has passed. But there's still those little curls of like black smoke of burns. But then all over in almost like random spots are just these deeper, darker black scorch marks. And I want Vapor to roll a Knowledge Arcana check.
Okay. Alphabets.
Is that
Son
the
of a
top?
gun.
It's not.
A, B, C, D, E, F,
It's
G, H, I,
not.
J, K.
There we go. There we go. I got it.
8.
Looks completely fine to you.
Of course it does. Stupid little rolls.
Yeah, tell him.
Only 2 knowledge rolls so far. And everybody's rolling like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody roll
Azar had a good
knowledge
I
here?
also,
No.
I
No.
technically also have Arcana.
Which knowledge can we roll?
No, that was just for Vapor.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can I try and gather information and just like see what the fuck happened here? Like,
yeah, sure. Like you want to kind of investigate.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be gather information because that's charisma based.
Yeah.
You would
Search.
roll search.
Cool.
Can Dragona also look around?
Yeah. How are you looking around? Are you trying to like just see what your senses pick up? Are you like investigating? What's going on?
Yeah, I'd say like investigating, like checking the vibe.
Is the ship still on fire?
Checking the vibe is more like a sense motive.
Shit.
Is there a sense motive
Yeah.
for environment?
I'll let you roll it.
I'm gonna guess my 14 didn't really yield anything.
Well, Dragona's also rolling. I'll resolve both unless other people want to add on. Nice.
Tilia's just going to be on alert, watching for movement and ready to strike at anything that jumps out at them.
You're the only thing that
Is
jumps.
Is the ship still on fire?
Amen.
The ship is not on fire, but it's like it's been on fire until recently.
And it's still floating under its own power? Is
Yes.
it sinking?
It is not sinking. Well, as far as you can tell, it's not sinking. Does anybody else have anything they would like to add? Like, I've got something from Kazar, Tilia, Dragona, and Z. What about the other two?
Is there any roll Tilia can make?
No.
Okay.
If you're just sitting there chilling, you don't got to roll anything.
Cool.
I'll just do the help action for Z's search, since I'm kind of investigating myself as well.
Cool, that's a 16 now. Jurgen, Vapor.
I can't re-roll that Arcana check, can I?
This once, I will allow you to re-roll.
Secret inspiration, go!
Oh,
13.
that's so much better.
Cool. Jurgen.
Well, you're gonna look around as well. So I guess should I do a search as well?
Well, I mean, again, it depends kind of what you're doing. Like, are you just kind of sussing the vibe here? What are you looking for? What's going on here? Like,
Jurgen is gonna be peeking around for any survivors of the ship.
okay, then yes, that'll also be a search.
Doop-a-doop. Shla-doop. 12.
Okay.
None of these are great.
Our highest search is 16. we have a 16 sense motive and a 13 knowledge.
Okay. Starting with Vapor, since I made her roll first. Whenever you guys got onto the ship, Vapor, you're examining these dark scorch marks that are separate from the lightning that Jurgen brought down onto the ship, and you recognize that these marks are not from any normal fire. They come from shadow fire. AKA the thing you can do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I look. Who is the closest to me right now?
I think everybody's kind of
Like-
equidistant from each other.
Yeah. We haven't really.
Imagine we're kind of
moved.
spread out, like searching around.
Yeah, we're just on the deck.
Yeah, so nobody would necessarily be the closest, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Who is not actively doing anything that I could call over to me?
That'd be Tilia.
Okay. Okay. So, I glance around for a moment and like try to just like make eye contact with Tilia and then like motion her over.
Yeah, keeping her eyes scanning, she'll hop over to you. You see something?
Yeah. So these, she points at the scorch marks that are on the deck. These aren't from like any sort of lightning or anything. These are from the. She'll use like quotations and around magic that I can do. This is shadow magic.
Well, there's probably not many practitioners of such a thing. How concerned do I have to be that there's another one of you?
Based on the fact that I haven't met very many people like myself, I'd say quite.
Can you tell if this was done recently?
Robert, can I tell if this was done recently?
no. Actually, yeah. Yeah, you would. It's been done within the past day.
Okay. It's been done within the last day or so.
Is Jurgen close enough to, or is she speaking loud enough for Jurgen to hear what she's saying?
This is kind of like more hushed, but it's not like whispered tones. So, like-
I would say just give me a listen check, and a 10 or better, you got it.
A 9.
Wow, literally one shy.
Wow.
He just hears muffles and he's like, wonder what they're talking about.
I intend to share this with the rest of the group, but for the sake of not alerting anyone that we're here, I'm
Okay.
not trying to shout.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Must have been the wind.
We're going to temporarily move on here to Dragona. Dragona, something feels off. Like, you guys have... First of all, you guys found them anchored out here in the middle of the ocean. You guys have anchored next to them, and not a soul has said a word. Like, you don't know if that means that they're hiding, or if somehow the ship is like has just been mysteriously abandoned. But I would say to you and your like battle honed senses that you feel like it is too quiet.
Dragona would probably just grab her flame sword and like have it out in her hand, and then would probably go over to where Tilia and Vapor are and just say, I've got a bad feeling about this.
I would fill Dragona in on the whole thing with the fire marks, while like actively just checking every direction. Just basically being on guard at this point.
Z. Your examination of the top deck doesn't reveal too much. Just that, like, there are piles of dust, or ash, not dust, ash, like some barrels that have been broken open. The sails are torn and singed. But, like, while you're walking and going through everything, you step on something that kind of crunches under your foot. And when you lean down and look at it, there in one of the piles of ash are human teeth.
Huh. I look through another pile of ash.
There are more teeth.
Any other bones or body parts?
Your search did not reveal that, unfortunately.
I kind of shout out to them. Hey, I think the pile of ashes are people? Or were people?
And your search reveals the exact same thing.
Jurgen just looks down and says, well, praise to soy, I'm not the worst thing to worry about out here.
What kind of power would have to be behind a flame to cause this?
Repeat that, Ice.
What kind of power would have to be behind a flame to cause this?
She'd clear her throat and just kind of wave. Hi.
Just kind of raises an eye.
The magic that I use is something called shadow magic, and it can cause a lot of damage. I've never seen it do it to this degree. But there are markings over here to point to the direction where those markings that I previously found were that are from Shadowcaster. Like myself.
I don't recall
And
it being
if that's
mentioned
the case,
that the crew encountered that kind of ability in the attack. The casters I witnessed were certainly using arcane magic.
if for some reason they do have a Shadowcaster on board, we are all in serious danger.
Shall we go see what's below deck?
did I see the remains of the staff I was being led to? I think you mentioned that earlier.
No.
No. Does this look like the kind of ship design where the captain's quarters is accessed from the deck, or is it below decks, like our ship?
Below, like yours.
And there's no clothing or items or weapons. Literally everything that was on these people at the time are just ash,
Yep.
except for some teeth.
Yep.
He kind of thinks about that and then says, this higher level shadow magic can turn not just flesh, but metal to complete ash as well. Why would teeth be the only thing left behind? Do you know of a specific shadow spell that causes that exact side effect?
Do I know that spell, Robert?
With a 13 on an Arcana check? Nope.
Not a clue. Like I said, I've never seen this before.
Well, all we can do is hope that whoever did this damage is gone. Because I don't know if we have the resources to handle that right now. The question then becomes, if our issue is no longer this crew spreading the word, is why was this crew murdered? We should look for survivors.
I agree. Philia, grab Andon and some of the shipmates and secure the deck while we explore the depths of the ship.
Tilia will give a sharp, practiced captain's attention-grabbing whistle and make a motion for people to join her, as she has done many times before. Even if
Alright.
she's not captain, these people know her.
He did make a point of saying include Andon in the group that secures the deck, and then he'll lead the party down below.
I think we should maybe sneak down. As
Agreed.
opposed-
I think with as many of us are going down, sneaking is out of the question for all of us, but
Well, maybe a 10-15 minute or 10-15 foot gap.
If you want to scut it out first, be my guest. But
Vapor,
if
you're
anyone's
familiar
alive
with
down
this.
there, they're gonna know that there's people aboard.
Vapor, you're the one who recognized this kind of magic. You lead the way down.
Okay. So
You're-
We'll give you a 10-foot gap.
settle myself first.
Ooh, cool.
As they kind of shimmer out of sight, Gazar will kind of count in his head off like 10 seconds, and then loudly start walking down because they're in armor and a dwarf,
Okay.
giving them a 10-second head start to be a step ahead of everyone before he walks down himself.
Okay. Is everybody going down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tilia certainly is.
Yes, Dragona also will be.
Awesome. Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm
we're
gonna.
leaving Andon in charge of the group on the deck.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to call for a new round of checks. You guys tell me just what you would like to roll, like what you're looking for, etc.
Same thing, just searching to figure out what's going on.
Okay, another search check then.
Better.
This time while being hidden, what do I want to do? I'm trying to I guess like feel what I can sense. But not like vibe-wise, I guess. If that makes sense. Is that still sense motive?
That would still be sense. So sense motive is anything to do with like a what is my gut telling me. If you're not doing it that way, then we can figure something else out.
No, we'll go for it. All my checks suck. What the heck?
All right. What about everybody else?
I think I'm going to I'm going to continue doing what I was doing before with the search. So I will just do the help action for Z search.
Okay.
Tilia specifically is going to listen for anything out of the ordinary, like, the wood shifting and the waves lapping.
Dragona is going to continue, just looking around and getting a feel for the place now that she knows what the fire is and stuff. Hopefully roll better.
Okay.
So another sense.
Oh, oops, I clicked that twice. I'm sorry.
We're not doing good on the sense motives, but
You know, hey, I appreciate the I want to know the vibes. So just for that, Dragona, I'm gonna let you roll with the 15.
Hey,
Yeah, green advantage.
rolling with advantage.
All right.
So we've got a 20 search, a 23 listen, and our highest sense motive is a 15.
All right. Jurgen.
Now knowing that there's some kind of special magic, I think that Jurgen would probably be a little more focused on that. So trying to figure out a little bit more about what might have happened here.
But you're specifically investigating the magic?
Yeah.
Okay. That would be Knowledge Arcana. And Mamato's going to help, so you have a +2.
So that's 21.
Hey,
Yep.
we got over 20 on every check except the sense motive, where we got a 15. All around good rolls.
Yeah, not bad.
All right, I'm going to start with Jurgen. Jurgen, shadow magic is something that it's not well known. The only people that know of it are casters themselves. And most common people would have no idea, and even in the ranks of people who understand and study magic, depending on where you've learned, this would also probably never come up. It's something that's particularly rare because it's viewed as unholy. Not because it actually is. That's a misunderstanding of what it is. But remember, the thing that means evil in my setting is literally called the dark, right? So shadow magic is we're in a dark place, so there's a lot of superstition around it being just you know, it's dark. It's dark. It's mean. We don't like it.
Yeah.
So you've never encountered it up close, but you know that like people who study this study it for years and years, and oftentimes are some of like the most sought after fighters, other than people like yourself.
Okay.
So that's what you would know about this kind of magic. You don't cast it, so I can't give you any in depth of like how it works.
Yeah.
But that's what you would know on just the subject.
Okay. So, yeah, Jurgen would just like kind of talk a little bit about like that bit that he knows,
Mhm.
and he would say, "Unfortunately, it's not something that I've ever particularly studied myself, so I can't offer much. But it's something."
Dragona, and in a way also Tilia, Vapor, and Z. And with your sense motive check, Dragona, like as you guys are kind of going room to room, the place is still just empty. Like no signs of life, nothing. So in a similar layout to yours, like this ship is very close to yours. It's just wider and a little bit shorter. So like the captain's quarters is in roughly the same place. There's nobody there. The first mate's and quartermaster rooms, there's nobody in there either. The valuables have all been burnt. Like nothing is really salvageable. But then you walk towards the crew quarters. And unlike your ship, where you just walk through a hallway and then you're in it, this one has a set of double doors in the way. And as soon as you walk up, Dragona, you get like a bad feeling. And Tilia, you hear like somebody's hoarse, rushed breathing.
Dragona's gonna still sword in hand, ready it, and kind of like notion to the door at Tilia.
Tilia's
we can all
spear
see this?
is always pointed at it, and Tilia's shaking her head like something is wrong.
Yeah, everybody's there. Everybody's there. You're looking at the set of double doors, and Dragona's like, "Hey guys, I got a bad feeling about going in there." Like, and I think
Can I check the door for traps?
yes.
I don't know what
I
that
will
is.
simultaneously, quietly, proc detect magic, which is a small level 0.
Yeah.
What is detect or check for traps?
Checking for traps is, I believe, spot.
Okay.
But allow me to double check. Let's see.
Yeah, it's got to be either that or search level 2.
Actually, yeah, traps are search. So
Oh, good. That's what I thought. 'Cause that's what I poured all my stuff into. I got a 3.
you already had a 20 because of Kazar's help. So I'm just gonna roll with that.
Oh.
Um,
Amazing.
there are no traps on the
Perfect.
door.
Is there any magic on the door?
Nope.
Nothing but bad vibes.
Alright, so Kazar kind of, I imagine Z does a motion and then Kazar does a motion as well, both confirming that there's no. The door itself is clean of both magic and mundane traps.
Tilia will very quickly push or pull the door to open it. swinging it wide quickly.
Okay. The door opens outward away from you. And I do not have a map for this, unfortunately. That would be really cool if I had the map skills for that. But you see, all of you see a grisly scene of bodies that are half charred, others that have been cut and butchered apart. On a table, there are, like, there's hands and feet that have been kind of cut and set onto plates like they were being served for dinner. There's a smell of flesh that's been on like a cook fire. And hanging above it all is a person missing their left arm and both legs, with their remaining arm nailed and keeping them aloft on the support for the main sail down here. And they are alive.
Is my detect magic showing anything in the room itself?
Nope.
Is there anything? Does anything else seem to be alive or mobile in the room?
Nope.
While the cleric is doing clericy things, Tilia's gonna run over and try to, like, lift this guy, if she can reach him, and like help ease the burden in his hand.
Is he like nailed through, or is he just hanging?
Yes. Like, nails have been driven completely through his arm, like in his hand, wrist, like, and then just down, and that's the only thing holding him up, is those nails.
Okay. Do I see what might be their... what would have been their legs and arm?
There's a lot of legs and arms.
Well, yeah, I'm
Frankenstein's
trying to
head.
match, like, I'm trying to match them to him with a look around, because if it hasn't been long enough, I mean, I presume it's possible if the leg's still...
That's going to be an
Viable.
exceptionally hard medicine check. Or heal check, I guess.
Well, yeah, because I'm trying to think if I can match the legs back to them. I could then use my healing magic while the leg is there, and it would kind of heal over as long as the leg's still there. Was my idea. Because I do fully intend to use some magic to heal them, because they're the only living thing that could give us some answers, and unnailing them, their barely alive body from this thing might just instantly kill them.
Yeah, Tilia, you come up and you relieve the pressure in their hands and arm, and they, like, as soon as you lay any hand on them, they just immediately let out a scream of pain.
Yeah. Kazar definitely tells Tilia to stop.
And she'll back away with her hands up, tripping over an errant leg.
Are we still using Z's search check for our search?
No.
Okay. Can we? Is it a heal check to look for which limbs are theirs, or would it be a search check?
It would be a heal check.
Okay.
Like, because, you know, you can find any old leg around just by searching, but, like, a specific matchup would be like, okay, well, his leg was cut like this, so I need to find legs that would have a matching cut, etc., etc. Like, there's a lot of
Can I
steps
get some-
involved.
Kazar is going to quickly tell the group to help him look for, and then explain, you know, exactly what he's looking for in that kind of gross detail, to get some help, action going, and then roll this heal. It's 14 base.
That depends on how many people are helping you.
He's kind of asked for help from everyone.
Sure, I'll
I'll
help.
help.
So, what is the rules for assisting in checks in this? Do they have to have a rank in the check to be able to assist with the check?
Give me just a second. I'll figure that out.
Because I know that if they wanted to, they could all take the help action and buff my roll, but I don't know if there's a limitation if they have to have a rank in it to be able to do that at all. It doesn't look heal doesn't have the asterisk next to it, so it's not a trained skill, so you can roll it untrained. I just didn't know if it's as easy as just getting the bonus from every member of the group or not.
Well, technically, they're also supposed to roll to see if they even succeed on helping you. You gotta
They
get
roll for heal.
roll heal, and you gotta get a 10 or higher.
Well, I don't have a great heal, but we'll try.
I also don't have a great heal, but
Tilia might actually hurt them if she tries. With a
Okay.
-1.
I don't think you can. I don't think you reduce my roll. It's just a check to see if
Wow.
you're able to help.
I too have a -1. I still took the.
Yeah, I don't think you can add negative to it if you're just seeing if you can help. Everyone's
He's
rolling
bleeding from his limbs. We should stop him from bleeding. That might help him.
good. Is Dragona and Z helping?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Dragona's
Oh, Z
not
roll.
gonna help because she's so disgusted by the sight.
Okay. Does Jurgen or Mamato help?
Mamato does not help.
What about Jorgen?
I didn't realize I was muted. Yeah, Jurgen trusts you guys to do this, so he's gonna like turn his back and like keep the lookout in case anything or anyone comes into the room.
Okay, so that's +6 in total then. So heal check is 20 final. Good, it's +2 for each successful help action, right?
Correct. That's unfortunately not enough.
20 is not enough.
Well, reattaching his limbs is.
Well, for like specifically to find those limbs in this mess, the DC was 25
Yeah.
Ouch.
because it is a formidable challenge.
Understandable.
Ouch. Well, I will cast Cure. Well, how many nails are stuck in them right now?
4.
Okay.
Man, I thought this guy just caught him on fire. Yikes.
So
No, he caught some people on fire, I guess.
mechanic wise, if I heal them while they're still nailed to the wall, they're not gonna like the places they're nailed to aren't gonna try and close up around the nails, are they?
I think he just kind of abstractly gets a little better.
Maybe one of his other wounds heals up a little bit.
No, depends on how much healing you put into him.
Shove it.
I would also say that, like, this guy is not long for the world. So, I mean, like, would Kazar even, like, use the spell on him?
Is there like a apply morphine?
Like, you
spell?
don't have, like, unlike other clerics, you don't have, like, a Hippocratic oath, right? Where you, like, help people in need. Your only duty is to your charges. So,
This guy is the only potential person who could tell us exactly what happened here. It's not so much saving him as wanting the information he might possess.
then, I mean, you still don't necessarily have to think about using a spell on that. Like, I would say your heal check, instead of finding his legs, would be enough to keep him alive to ask questions.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely do that. Yeah, I'll apply the heal check to him to stop bleeding and help and keep him alive and get him attentive. Do I think that we could keep him alive if I remove the nails?
Definitely not.
Okay, removing the nails definitely would kill them. Alright, he's staying.
Yeah. They're at, was like, let me put it this way. Any damage, this guy is at 0 HP in this scenario. Any damage, and since he is not a, like, doesn't have any class levels, would just be instant death. And removing a nail deals 1 damage. So,
Oh, okay. So he's alive. Can we get him? Can we get his eyes open and talking to him? Like, does he wake up?
yeah, I mean, he's lucid. He's just in a lot of pain.
Okay. Kazar kind of looks around, clears the table a little bit to stand up a little higher, so his head is closer to this guy's head. And then probably still looking up at them because they're kind of hanging up there. So, can you tell me what happened to your lad? Who did this to you?
They, like, their eyes are very glossy, and, like, they look at you breathing very heavily, like some blood kind of dripping from their lips. He goes, he just starts saying that over and over again.
Use your words, lad. What is that? What do you mean? If you don't have a word, can you describe it?
Jurgen,
Yes.
in your head, you hear the voice. It speaks up for the first time since the storm. It says, "This looks like the work of Naga." The guy hanging on the mast says, these half man, half snake."
Yeah,
they covered
Jurgen
in
would look to
moss?
him. Oh,
They ate them all.
Ouchie.
They ate my legs. They ate my arm.
Did they
Jurgen.
speak or say anything?
Oh,
Was there a reason?
they spoke. They spoke to laugh and ridicule. And the guy just starts crying.
Did they come from the water?
Did someone summon them? Or did they come from the water? He says, echoing Z's question, trying to get through to them and get them talking again.
Jurgen is trying to speak up.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, does Jurgen know what a naga is?
Not at all.
Okay, well, since he doesn't know what it is, he would kind of announce to everyone with the after hearing this and say, my friend upstairs has suggested a naga. Is anyone familiar with that?
Do I recognize the word?
Nope.
Tilia,
Nope.
same thing.
Nobody here knows what that is.
And we can't roll local knowledge to try and figure it out, or we
Nope.
just don't know what at all.
Nobody knows at all whatsoever. In any universe.
Ooh.
Not even real life.
We don't know in real life.
Why did you attack our ship?
Those eyes, like his eyes, like kind of flutter up and then look over at Jurgen.
Use your words, lad.
There's the captain wanted the dwarf.
Do you know why?
No.
And who might your captain be? Or, he says, looking down at the body, have been.
His name was Josiah Abris. He had this man in a cloak and a dark mask, and he killed the captain and killed most of the other crew, and then called those things.
So they were summoned.
And God just starts crying again.
Do we have any other questions for him?
Kazar looks towards Vapor pointedly, like raising an eye, looking at their mask, and says, "Seems you were definitely right about another caster like yourself."
Where is your caster now?
He left after they came.
Where did he go?
Like he would tell me.
What did their mask look like?
Just metal with 2 holes for eyes.
Is that who they're calling? Is that who this Naga person is?
No, that's who they're calling the caster. The shadow
Oh, that's who they're
caster.
calling the caster.
They were wearing a they were wearing a metal mask with holes for the eyes.
Would I have any would I know of anybody who wears a metal mask, Robert?
Your whole order.
They all wear like
Ev-
like a plain metal mask.
Your whole order.
You're the only one with the pattern.
I'm the only one with the patterned one.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Hmm,
She's special.
that's not helpful. What else can you tell me about this caster?
He dies.
Dang it.
He went to high school with us.
I do not recognize the bodies in the water.
Well, you lot process that in here. I need some fresh air. Tilly's gonna get out of that.
Yeah, while you're leaving, you like step on an eyeball and it just like squishes.
Ugh.
Well, the only thing about that doesn't make sense is they indicated they were after Jurgen. But
Metal.
we didn't even know about that.
Perhaps they had some of that divination magic. I don't know how
As
that
Jeremiah
stuff-
would say, the signs hadn't manifested yet. Even after telling Jeremiah, who never left our ship after even being told, he wasn't even sure it could be them until after, well, today. Not for certain.
Well, maybe Jeremiah's a really shitty sea priest.
Yeah, he flunked out of like gospel school.
Worst in his class, but barely passed.
Maybe they weren't directly after Jurgen, specifically because they thought he was the herald. Maybe they were after Jurgen because he had the necklace.
Or maybe he owed them money.
Or
I seriously
maybe
doubt
he
that.
knew he was the herald. I don't think we can rule that out. Or Jurgen, do you owe them money?
I don't believe so.
Well, in my experience, people only get cannibalistic, limb-tearing, orgy-style violent when there's either money or religion involved.
The caster summoned some kind of half-snake, half-person creatures to do this.
I think I've seen them. When? Went overboard. Tilia, you saw them too, maybe?
Oh, like with the anchor bloke. Yeah.
Yeah, the anchor bloke.
Yeah, I mean, sounds about right. They didn't seem like the most friendliest of folks either.
No.
So these are regular creatures that live in the water that weren't summoned?
Well, that we can't be sure of, but they came up. So at the very least, we know they're mostly aquatic. Or can be.
Vapor's just in there pacing, racking her brain for any information that she might know that might be remotely helpful.
Well, you know, not to step on Kazar's feet, but we need to search the rest of the ship. We still don't know if there are any survivors, although the chances of that are
This was the last room.
significantly lower. It
Yeah, the
was
ship's
the
been
last room.
searched.
Yeah, okay.
Well, this ship is still seaworthy. We could get something out of this. Let's toss this mess overboard, and we can tow it to a port and sell it.
I used to have a wizard friend that was really good with those cleanup spells. It's like press a Gigimation or something. I get it back in sellable condition.
Yeah, I'm not cleaning this up.
I won't give an order I'm not willing to follow myself. And
Mamato will speak
he
up,
said-
and he says, "I think we should burn it."
a controlled fire on a ship made of wood might be a little tricky. Or did you mean the entire ship?
I meant the entire ship.
And
A ship
why
would
do
be worth
you
a
think
lot of
that?
money.
Mamato just like shivers, and he says, I would. Jurgen and I left violence like this behind a long time ago. And enemies are not. It would be dishonorable to throw them off the ship just to sell it.
You're supposed to have the crew delegates here for any decisions like this.
Well, they don't have to know if a small trap triggered while we were aboard and the whole thing went ablaze. This.
I believe Z does have a point. I also don't think the crew would like to know about the scene displayed here.
Oh, let's split down the middle. Let's loot what we can and burn the rest.
There's nothing really of value to loot except the ship itself. That would be, well, a seaworthy vessel is quite a lot of money.
With the blood spilled on this ship, that kind of curse will follow this ship. I'm with Mamoto on this one.
Kind of raises an eye and says, "This is the Barren Isles. I imagine every ship in these seas has some blood on it."
Mamato like speaks up again. He's like, I think that however true it may be that violence is common here, I don't think anything reaches levels of like this. Whatever did this
Certainly not.
was very sadistic.
My vote is this is more trouble than it's worth. And then she just walks out of the room.
I think we should take Z's first suggestion, since we do have a moment, and discuss what to do. I did give my word that I would include both Andon and Baranon in such decisions when possible.
I think we should refrain from showing them this particular scene down here.
No, I definitely believe we should have that discussion in the captain's quarters, not here, he says, and then walks out of the room. Headed back up top deck to to start gathering everybody up in the captain's quarters. for a discussion on what to do.
Vapor will immediately follow behind you. Captain,
Yes.
as soon as we conclude that meeting, I'd like to do a thorough check of our ship. Since I know that since I know that they had another caster on board, I'm concerned that they may have tried to plant something on our ship.
By all means, do so.
Kind of picking up in the rear, Jurgen would go over to Mamoto, and he would say, my friend, I agree that we shouldn't be taking such a terrible thing with us, but what is it that's bothering you?
You remember the war, Jurgen. Of course you do. Well,
Of course.
towards the end, before we took matters into our own hands, and Mamoto just stops talking and he just storms off.
Jurgen would kind of just stand there for a moment, and then to himself say, I understand. And then pick up behind everybody else.
All right. I'm assuming everybody is going to go meet up in Kazar's quarters.
I am not.
You are not. What do you do?
Does everybody else show up?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, Tilia as well.
Dragona would also come with.
Okay. Steve, what are you up to?
I am running around the edge of the ship, scanning the sea, trying to see if there's anything in the water. Kind of like a crazy person.
I know they're out there.
Where are they?
Roll a spot
I know
check.
they- Yeah. And I'm just gonna, no matter what this is, a natural one.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That makes me even more frantic. I am just like, I know they're there, and I'm like, really, I spend their whole meeting running around the ship trying to find these fucking things.
Okay. Kazar, everybody else files into the meeting. Except for, of course, Z is not there. And neither is Mamoto.
Oh, that's unusual.
Oh, are you saying Mamoto abandoned Jurgen?
Well, whenever Jurgen walks in, Mamoto's not with him, so.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because he kind of stormed off.
Kazar will turn to Vapor and ask, "Do you want to go get Z, or should we proceed without them?"
Proceed without her. I think she's having some sort of mental crisis at the moment.
Understandable.
I think within that one spot, you guys hear Z go, "Where are they?"
Right at the end of Paper's sentence.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Baranon and Andon are here as well.
Yeah, you called, they come. So
Kazar will explain the situation and present the options for what to do with the ship, and then ask for Andon and Brannigan's opinion.
you literally said it right the first time.
Baranon.
Right again.
Brannigan.
Zap Brannigan. I hate you.
See, when I pause before saying the name, I get it right. When I try to just say the name naturally in a sentence, it comes out wrong.
The whatever, they're here. Like
Baranon. So yeah, Kazar explains the situation and asks for Andon and Baranon's opinions.
okay. Baranon is all for, like, he's like, sure, like, let's get it cleaned up and let's go sell it. I want money. Andon's like, nope, that's some dark shit. I don't want nothing to do with it. That's bad juju. Bad sea juju.
All right. Let's put it to a vote. Tilia?
I strongly encourage us to rid the sea of this thing.
That's one vote for Burnett. Dragona?
I think he will nod in agreement. Yes.
Vapor?
Burn it. The fact that it has remnants of my type of magic on it has me very on edge, and need I say more?
I think before Z walked off, her opinion was pretty clear, in line with Vapor's. That makes it almost unanimous in favor of burning the thing.
Yeah, you're going to say I. There's a lot of tortured souls on that ship. We don't need anyone else with a spirit inside of them.
Then we burn it.
I can help with that.
If it's the way you started the job, perhaps it shouldn't be you that finished it.
Fair enough.
Tilia's will grab some kindling and some of the stronger grog, and
Kazar raises a hand to stop them.
Captain.
Since we've already made the decision to burn it, Mamoto felt very strongly, perhaps more strongly than any of us, maybe he should be the one to do so.
I feel he'd appreciate that.
Meanwhile, Z You crit failed your spot check, but that's okay, because Mamato crit failed his stealth check.
That's great.
So like you're going around, you're towards the back of the ship, and you see Mamato like standing there with like his hands kind of against the railing, staring very intently at the other ship.
I'll walk up to him. I'm guessing for different reasons, but seems like we're the two that were the most spooked.
I don't want to be the person that can take something like that in stride.
She's contemplating whether or not to be honest about her fears.
But does that look show on Z's face?
Yes, like
Yeah.
it's like pretty clear that she's just like staring kind of off into the distance, like mouth agape, like about to talk the whole time that I've been talking.
Yeah.
And then finally she says, I've always been someone who could take that kind of thing in stride. And she avoids eye contact because, you know, she knows that he's probably judging her. But when those things came after me, I don't know if it's the ocean or their power, but I've never been in a situation where there were no words. And I don't like that feeling. And just maybe, just maybe I have just a first in my life shred of empathy for the people in that room.
Mamato
And now she looks
like
at him to gauge his reaction.
Mamato like nods along while you speak. And he says, like, look, I don't know you personally. So what's come out at that meeting, I guess. You and Jurgen don't exactly see eye to eye, but while that would put us on opposite ends of our knives, until that happens, it's what I'm trying to say is that I used to do, well, not used to, did exactly once something just as horrible. I guess since you've opened up to me, I might as well open up to you. How old are you?
25.
It was before your time. 20 years ago, I was in the Alaborn with Jurgen there, and 10 years before that, I went with a group of our brothers to the Agander estate, and I don't know, I lost count after the first few hours. Women, children, men, young boys, their pets. That's the kind of thing that sticks with you once you've done it on a mass scale.
the puppies.
He killed puppies. Yeah, at this point, Z outwardly is kind of like nodding along like he was, but inwardly is like not relating at all because she's 25 and is like, I don't think I'd feel anything to that, but with this connection, she's like, and what did you do afterwards? Like completely curious. Like if I were to do something like this, what would I do afterwards?
At the time, when you're young like that and you have something you believe in and you think you can take on the world, me and my brothers, we went and we just had a beer. Like it was no big deal. That's when you have time to stop and really reflect.
Z doesn't say anything. She just nods and kind of, they, I guess, have a nice moment of silence. You know that, like, where it's not awkward, but, you know, the conversation's over.
Yeah.
But inwardly, she's like, no, that couldn't be me. I'm young, but would that be me? No. No, I'll be fine. But what did I?
Maybe I won't feel Ibnis's warm embrace, but I'll make sure they do. And he casts Fireball.
Oh my god.
Yeah, while the meeting's going on. Like, and right at the end, when you guys decide to burn it, you guys hear a boom! And then another one.
Right as I'm just imagining right as I stop Tilia and I finish saying Mamato should be the one to do it. Boom.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep.
Hot damn.
And Kazar just kind of like looks up at the ceiling.
I think he's done it.
That would be Fate's sense of humor again.
Yeah.
And then he walks upstairs.
Paper would follow.
Yeah, Jurgen's. Am I am unmuted. Excellent. Yeah, Jurgen's going straight to Mamato.
Kazar does the same. Just kind of leans on the but he almost more like casually, just kind of like non-confrontationally leans on the railing to his other side and says, "We actually decided almost unanimously that we'd burn it, and you should be the one to do it. I would have told you to do exactly what you did if you'd waited a couple minutes longer."
Jurgen just chimes in. If you'd like to do the honor, he says, laughing as he's like staring at the boat burning down.
I couldn't wait and take the risk of a different outcome.
Now that I understand, she says with a smile. Not her usual smirk, a genuine smile.
And then the Seinfeld themes play.
And then
He kind of glances between Z and then Mamato and says, "Just remember the first time that kind of decision was contemplated, Jurgen was almost killed." And then pats the back of Mamato's pats Mamato's back and then walks off. He says it very he says that like just neutrally, very matter of factly.
Zoo's gonna try and sneak away.
Go for it. Move,
Is it the
move
Irish
silently,
goodbye?
please.
Where you try and like say goodbye without anyone noticing.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are welcome to try and make listens or spots, but I think Z's got it.
I could match it at best with a 20.
Mamato is too busy casting Fireball again.
And Jurgen is too busy watching him do so.
I'm trying to see if I can match that.
To move silently, or or with a spot check.
With a, I don't know, with like a move silently to like follow you.
Well, you'd have to notice they're leaving first.
True. Okay, I don't care. I'm going to sneak away and go like search the ship for the freaking shadow creatures because paranoid AF now.
Kazar's going to find Andon.
Andon followed you. He's right there.
Perfect. Kazar leads the way to the captain's quarters, then
Yeah.
motioning for Andon to keep following.
Cool.
It's that awkward moment where you turn around, like literally bumped chests with each other.
Yeah. He's like, hey, I had a feeling you were looking for me.
Okay, for
That
that
feeling was
purpose,
correct.
here's my move silently.
Hey.
Okay. Yeah, you got it.
I don't see nothing there either.
Bitches sneak off.
The two sneaky bitches sneak away.
Yeah, so
And my
Kazar
cat is now laying on my notes, so I guess I'm done taking notes for the evening, so that's great.
You're no-
Well, you'll just have to remember because we're going to start with you searching around.
Okay.
What is, I don't have any lore written down for, how to find shadow magic around. So why don't you go ahead and make something up for me, Blake?
Okay. So, put me on the spot with making something up, Robert. Gosh.
Well, it's called improv.
I know.
And that a callback.
I'm just being sarcastic about it. It's fine. I've actually been thinking about this for a little bit. So I feel like it would leave a residue, but it wouldn't leave like it would leave like a unique residue. Unlike the residue like that regular magic would leave, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you would know as a practicer of this magic that shadow magic does not appear on detect magic.
I'm trying to think what it would appear on though. Like that's Let me read one thing real quick here.
Sure. By Dubby, guys.
Yes,
That's an order.
That is an order.
From your commander.
Yep. Anthony, the blue raspberry, it's really good.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't tried it yet.
Is that shit made out of, like, beaver anal glands still?
Blue raspberry flavor?
Yeah. It used to
n-
be.
Actually, Dubby's stuff is all like, none of it is. I wouldn't necessarily say vegan because the factor that they produce it does also work with dairy products. But
Well, as long as the product itself doesn't purposely have animal products, I would
But yeah.
consider it vegan.
yeah, it has no animal products whatsoever in it and is generally gluten free. Like the thing that it's powderized with like beetroot.
Okay, I
So-
think I got it.
If that's what
So-
beaver ass tastes like. Just saying.
Don't finish that sentence.
Go ahead, Vapor. Go ahead.
So if I cast this any like remnants of of that shadow should like form little ink blots. If that makes any sense, I don't. This is me thinking on the fly.
So basically, you want to use that spell
So I want
as
to
like a
use this spell as like a tracker to see like if if there's like if anything like manifests like on parts of this ship that like it wouldn't normally appear on.
So Blake, I
It's
have
like
a
magic luminol.
yeah, I have a distinction question that not everyone here might understand. I don't know. Are we talking like DBD Oni style, like that? Like there's a trail of the blobbies, or like
Kinda, yeah.
so.
I was just trying to get the visual down. That's cool.
Since the spell itself like makes this like shadowy ink, what I'm gonna say is like instead of that letting you like or like in video game terms like making a path that you're able to just easily like okay, I need to go left. Instead, it's like a reference. Like you look at it and you're like, okay, it'll look dark like this, and that allows you to then notice it.
Okay. Okay. That works.
Okay.
That works. That's
And in that case, I'm not even going to give you a spot check since you are a shadow caster. And once you have the, color of it down, like, you know how to follow its trail. And there is one.
okay.
And it leads to Jurgen's room.
Oh shoot! I'm just now remembering
Okay.
this scene.
To alert other people or to go try to deal with this thing on my own. Oh. Okay. I know where it is. Or I know where it presumably is. I don't know if it'll stay there. Okay, I'm going to walk to Jurgen's room, peek my head inside, and say, I know you're in here.
How do you, like, how does Vapor voice this? Like, are you doing it in obviously you don't sound like you're guessing, but like, are you trying to do it in like a, come to me, I'm not threatening, or like a, you know what I'm saying, like, or fuck off out of here, like.
This is like a so it's like a hushed sort of it's a hushed calm tone, where I'm like, I'm not going to hurt you if you just come out and talk. If
Okay,
you can talk.
diplomacy check. ABCDs.
I'm scared for this check. Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured.
It's not a critical failure.
Yeah, it still has to make a roll against it. Do you like you've poked your head in?
Yeah, like my full body is not in. It's literally just my head.
Okay. So while you're in Jurgen's room, like your head is in Jurgen's room, you guys had 8 hours of rest. So 8 hours from before, it's like starting to settle into evening, so things have started to get a little dark. But thanks to your use of liquid night, you are able to see that the shadows are just ever so slightly darker than normal in Jurgen's room, and they kind of like whoosh and swirl into an outline, a humanoid outline up against one of the walls. So the creature of shadow has revealed itself to you.
Oh dang. I didn't expect it to actually reveal itself to me. Oh, okay.
Any chance you could tell us what it rolled, or is that for you to know and us to find out?
And it's for me to know, but it was worse than 6.
Oh, that is eerily surprising, because that 6 was terrible. um. As to show I'm like not trying to threaten it in any way, like I will like do one of those like surrendering hand things and just like stand in the doorway. Like fully stand in the doorway. Who are you? I assume, yeah, I don't understand any of that. So, okay.
Did you know I was here?
Um, I want to reveal myself to this thing. Um, I'll tell you if you tell me why you're here.
A deal made. I watched the dwarf.
A deal made by who?
Cannot reveal.
When you say watch the dwarf. Watch him how?
Watch who he speaks to, who he sleeps near.
Do I have any reason to be afraid of you?
No, you are as my master. One who can see shadows is friend.
Did your master give you any commands as far as, like, harming the dwarf in any way?
I am incapable. Not enough shadows here.
So you're just the messenger.
Yes.
Hmm. Does your master intend to hurt the dwarf?
That I cannot answer.
Because you are forbidden to answer, or you are uncertain?
Uncertain.
Hmm. Do you have a name?
I am anathema.
Spelling, please, Robert.
That was a real word.
Thank you.
It's also a really good band.
Do you know who your master works for?
Themselves.
Interesting.
I have been seen. I must be going. And you see the shadows swirl around the window and then slither out.
Okay. He stands there for a moment, just like a little bit dazed. And then goes to find Z.
Cool. Before we do that, what did Kazar have for Andon?
Kazar wanted to ask Andon if he knows anything specifically about the kind of magic that could have caused this. Anything more than Vapor would have been able to tell him.
Honestly, no. Magic is not my specialty.
He nods and says, well, if there's any of that magic on board, hopefully Vapor finds it and gets rid of it. They asked to do so on their own initiative.
Yes. I think that her tune is definitely changing.
For the better, I hope. He stands up and then pours one of the drinks left over from when Captain Tilly was up here. And offers Andon some.
Oh, of course.
Pour Andon a glass, and then relax. He clearly doesn't have anything more to ask at the moment. He's just letting everything that's happened over the last 24 hours, because it hasn't even been that yet.
Yeah.
All kind of sink in with while enjoying a expensive drink.
Yeah, you guys have had a very busy day. Now, what about the rest of the crew here, except for Z and Vapor? What are y'all up to?
It's an excellent question. I know Jurgen at this point is pretty much just hanging out with Mamoto, seeing like, I don't know, where he's gonna go after this. He seemed pretty worked up about the whole ship thing, so he doesn't want to leave him quite yet.
Well, if you're worried about Mamoto leaving the group, that not out of the question. Like, he is loyal to you, Jurgen.
Very good.
I think to help lighten Tilia's mood after seeing all of that, she's probably going to do her daily exercise regimen with Jimmy. So a lot of laps around the ship.
Yeah, after like the second one, Jimmy's like, why is the ship so big?
I'll keep pushing them, stumbling along. You're lucky we're not ashore. I'd have you run all the way around it and back.
It's like, this sucks. What's Dragona doing?
I am not super sure. I'd imagine maybe she's sitting on deck watching Jimmy and Tilia run around. Like, she wouldn't run out of enjoyment. Like, she wouldn't do
Yeah.
that. But she's definitely watching.
Dragona's like, I only run to stay in shape.
We can add a little spice and say she's doing like curls right now.
Hell yeah. Okay. Where did Z go whenever she snuck off?
She just went back to Vapor's room and is just chilling, reading a book with an unmarked cover.
Well, I guess after a while, Vapor finds you in her room.
I do not acknowledge her when she comes in.
I should have assumed that this was where you'd be.
Well, if you got to escape here when it was my room, I'd say it's only fair that I get to use it too.
Oh, I don't care about that. I do, however, need you to come with me, and we need to go talk to Kazar.
About what?
Something that I'm not sure if we need to be concerned about quite yet. But that we do need to be on alert for.
What is it?
I'll explain when we get there.
Why can't you just explain now?
Sister, trust me.
You could just tell me now.
She'll realize that her door is still slightly ajar and she'll shut it. Excuse me.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Okay, you're still coming with me after I tell you about this, and we're going to Kazar about this. Got it?
Sure, just tell me what it is.
So, you know how whenever we were leaving, well, maybe you don't know because you kind of like ran away, but when we were leaving the other ship, I was gonna do like a thorough search of our ship to make sure like no shadow creature of any kind was like here on ours.
Nope, but I know now.
Yeah, well, I found one.
Okay.
And I had a conversation with it.
What did it say?
That's what I want to discuss with you and Kaiser.
But you won't just tell me first?
It serves a master that's like me.
What's it doing here?
It was sent to watch Jurgen. It can't do anything to him.
Could it be the guy from the ship?
No.
Well, it's
Well,
master.
the
It's
master.
master the idea.
Maybe.
Why would we tell Kazar? This could be another ally.
What do you mean?
Well, we were sent here to kill Kazar.
No,
Now
Jurgen.
we're Jurgen. I said this. Yeah, Jurgen. Maybe this guy's also trying to kill Jurgen. but we should tell Kazar, because if you kill Jurgen, then we can blame it on this guy. No, this is good for us. Sister? You're not saying anything.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Don't you ever have these moments where you think?
No,
Or do you always just blurt out the first thing that comes to your mind and
I
and say it?
No, I just think a lot faster than you do.
I'm carefully considering my options.
Could you carefully consider quicker?
She'll roll her eyes at you.
As she should.
Regardless, I think we need to tell Kazar that I at least found something, but it's gone now.
Good. No, I think that's a good idea. I think it could be a scapegoat. Yeah. Alright. I'll go with you to tell Kazar. She gets up.
And we walk towards the captain's quarters.
I'm probably still sharing a drink with Andon when we knock on the door.
Those two enter the captain's quarters, and that is where we're going to end session.
Very nice.